Sean and Joe, another episode ready to go. They're gonna talk about the good and the trash and anything in between. Cherishing make-believe, get ready for Halloween. It's the horror show. I know you missed those guys. Tune in and find out what's on their list tonight. They butcher and dissect, take apart and mutilate. Listen to your two favorite brainiacs communicate. It's the horror show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horror Show, the show that dissects, mutilates, dismembers, and butchers all of your favorite and not so favorite horror movies and other horror-related events. I'm Sean.
I'm Joe.
Hello, Joe.
What's going on?
Nothing. Hey, I am loving the new Patreon format.
Yeah, we're doing like action movies, trying to pick apart series. We're doing Fast and Furious now, and we're just talking about how we want to do Mission Impossible and Die Hard going forward. So I'm liking it.
Oh my god, I just had the most fun ever talking about Furious 7, a movie I didn't take notes on really, like some notes, but definitely way less than normal. And boy, it's just fun to talk about those fucking movies, man.
Yeah, I mean, the format on Patreon is a little more loosey-goosey, but I'm liking doing the action franchises over there.
I agree, and it also helps that it's just nonstop, right? So, you could pick, 7 moments to talk about in that movie, because there's, 38 moments in those movies to talk about. Piranha, which we're doing this week, less action moments?
There are 4 Piranha movies. We are choosing to speak about the best made one, but also the least. I don't even know how to word it.
Entertaining?
I don't want to call it not entertaining, because I legitimately think it's a good movie.
I do too.
But in terms of I would talk about an indie film, because that's essentially what it is at this point, right?
Yeah,
Dante is making a low budget Jaws homage, and he does it really well. It's a good movie. But that's all I really have to say. I mean,
it's interesting, I guess. It's a little, you would expect piranhas to be a little bit more fast paced. You'd expect to see some more piranhas.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You just see. It makes me laugh every time the piranhas are on the screen, because they're just wobbling.
Yeah, but. I liked the effect of it, honestly. I don't know. There was something about it I really enjoyed. And
it's charming. Yeah, for sure.
One of the questions I have for you, actually, I wrote this down. Is this the best, mostly off-screen monster ever?
It very well could be, because it's effective, and you don't see them ever, but you see the aftermath.
Normally a movie that we watch where the monster is, if we don't see the monster ever, or if we do, they're just shit jiggling in the water, we would fucking tear to shreds. Somehow they do that and still manage to show gore constantly. And in really smart ways. So the bloody water is a really smart way. Even though it's not the most gory thing you've ever seen, it's still you're oh wow, that's fucking nuts. And then they do end up adding up a shitload of what would you call it? Body gore? I don't know. More physical gore of wounds, open wounds and skeleton feet. And it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I don't want to be super negative about it, saying that it's boring, because there's a school of children fucking destroyed.
Oh my god, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable
that he would actually do that. And this isn't the first time I've seen Piranha, so I knew it was coming, but still I was I can't believe that he did this. I can't believe they fucking kept this in this movie.
It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely fucking nuts. This was made in 1978 too, and it's just impressive. The budget was somewhere between $600K and $700K, roughly. It made $16 million.
Did it?
This was a
Jaws hype was a thing, man. Because Grizzly was, I think, it was the highest grossing independent movie ever.
Are you serious?
Was Grizzly before or after Jaws? So maybe my point doesn't make any sense.
Grizzly was before.
Grizzly was before?
Yeah.
Well, when Grizzly came out, it was the highest grossing independent movie.
Dude, Grizzly made $39 million.
Wait.
Yes.
Yeah, Grizzly came out in 76.
Yes, and it made $39 million. That's absolutely fucking nuts.
That's insane. But Grizzly came out the year after Jaws.
Wow.
Jaws came out in 75. So the Jaws hype was real. So Grizzly was like it's like coming back to me. I'm pretty sure Grizzly was marketed as like Jaws on land.
Yeah, that's 100% how it was marketed.
Bear. One's a shark and one's a bear. They're fucking idiots. People in the 70s are fucking idiots. No wonder all those boomer memes exist today, because that's them now. Fucking being afraid to go swimming after seeing a shark movie. Like,
all right.
Dude, imagine being shocked that generation believes everything that they read on Facebook. Fucking wouldn't go swimming or take showers after seeing a shark movie.
Yo, it's fucking true. I saw you post something in your stories about that recently, and that is a point that I always fucking made, because my son, he knows of Jaws, he's never seen it, and he is paranoid to watch it because his grandparents are like, when I watch that, I wouldn't go swimming for my entire childhood. And I'm like, James, it's honestly the fucking ridiculous. Like, it's the most ridiculous fucking movie I've ever seen. Like, good filmmaking. Jaws looks like a fucking robot because he is.
I mean, just the swimming part. Like, sure, if you don't want to go in the ocean after seeing Jaws, I'm fine with that. Maybe you developed a fear for sharks. People have... It's like documented that they were scared, like swimming pool, like community pools were like struggling to stay open after Jaws. Fuck you.
It's fucking funny. And Piranha, like, is honestly a little bit more scary because at least they, like, put them in a
Piranha
lake.
is legitimately more terrifying because they bring the government into it. And they're just like, yeah, these guys, like, are genetically mutated. I'm on board with Piranha now because Piranha's fucking brilliant. They bring the government in. They're like, why can't I think of the fucking words tonight? They're mutated by the government and they're released into a pond.
Yes.
And like some guy is there to explain all that too.
Yes, there's a mango expert here to direct you to where to go for this movie. It's great. And by the way, it takes him 3 fucking scenes to tell you. It fucking drove me nuts. Drove me nuts writing notes for this because he like kind of explains it at the beginning, and it doesn't take a genius to be like, okay, I know the plot now. And then later he's like, by the way, it was the military. I was like, dude, of course we know that. Like, you're on a military base. What are you talking about? And then like another scene later where he's like, by the way, we made them to breed really quickly. Like, dude, yeah, we know. We fucking get it. Quit drawing this out. Produced
Let's talk
by
about Joe Dante really quick.
Yes.
Joe Dante should be considered one of the greatest of all time, which I feel like genre fans might do that, but I'm just talking about like movies in general. People should consider him like a top 5 director.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
This is his first... Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not looking at it. I didn't write anything down regarding Joe Dante, so I don't know why I'm spearheading a conversation about him. But I'm pretty sure this was his first movie. And then, like, the next year he would do Rock and Roll High School. He did The Howling, Gremlins, Inner Space, The Burbs.
Yeah.
All that in, like, a 5-year span.
Yeah. So it's technically his second. He was a co-director of this movie, Hollywood Boulevard, in 76. But... honestly, if you're a co-director, it probably means like you stepped in for a few scenes, like while the director had like a nasty coke habit, as we learned through D'Amato and whatchamacallit, where it was like guys just quit and the other guy filmed 45 minutes and called it a day and somehow got a director credit out of it. So, but yeah, no, that's this is like his first movie alone, directing it. And fucking great job, man, right?
Great job. Yeah. Great job.
Great job. This was done through Roger Corman's studio, New World Pictures, which, man, had a real cool logo to me as a kid. I loved the New World Pictures logo.
Yeah, for sure. And Roger Corman's another greatest of all time.
Yeah, and Roger Corman. So if you want like some good insight into like that whole, just into Corman, I guess that it's not called Monster Vision anymore. The Joe Bob on Shudder, whatever the fuck it's called, The Last Drive-In. The one with Corman that he did for Humanoids of the Deep. Is that Corman?
Humanoids from the Deep, yeah.
Humanoids from the Deep. The episode he did with him was incredible, and Corman gave a ton of cool insight into it. So I would suggest checking that out. But Corman is like not only like a savvy in entertainment, but like a savvy business guy. And like he opened New World Pictures. He only had New World Pictures until 83 and sold it for like a shitload of cash. And really, like, Piranha was, like, a big part of that. Like, made him a ton of fucking money. Made the studio a ton of money. And then he sells it in 83. And surprisingly, they go above and beyond. And the list of New World movies from, like, 83 on is basically, like, everything from our childhood. Like,
yeah,
it's nuts. So New World was fucking huge. And I just loved that logo so much. It always like, I don't know, man. It was always red, first of all. Creepy as fuck. To like, you did that. Like you saw New World before Children of the Corn. You're like, I'm ready to be scared. And then you fell asleep halfway through and it wasn't even all that scary. It was just fucking stupid. But
Children of the Corn hate. Come on.
No. I mean, it's just not like, because like, you know, I guess I'm talking from the sleepover point of view, because you had the sleepover and you're like, as a horror buff, Joe, are you laughing?
Yeah.
As a horror buff, Joe, you know, like you were kind of put in charge of choosing the movie for the night. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is very true.
And so, yeah. And everyone would be like, is it scary? You know what I mean? And you were like, well, like, I don't know. Like if you're an idiot, sure. I guess it's kind of like scary. Isn't it just good? Like, can't it just be a good movie? And like Children of the Corn, I feel like fell into that area where it wasn't like the scariest sleepover movie, but you realized it was a good movie. Like,
Buzz was the fucking king of that. Like, it's scary, and then immediately picking apart why it's not scary 5 minutes into it.
Right. And it's like
ruining the experience.
Oh man. Well, Piranha, 1978. Let's get into it. I feel like this might be a shorter episode. I don't know why. I just kind of feel like it might be.
I mean, you know, there's just really not a whole lot to talk about.
Hey, does Dick Miller remind you of your dad?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Not anyway.
I never really.
What were you gonna say?
I never really like thought of that until you just said it, and now my world's like imploding.
I mean, they're very different people, clearly. But whenever I look at Dick Miller, and I feel like maybe I don't know your grandfather at all by any means, but like maybe I feel like, I don't know why I feel this way. I feel like he might look like your grandpa more, just because like he sort of looks like your dad.
You're pretty spot on. I'll show you a picture of my grandfather young with like that when his hair was like graying.
Yeah,
that wasn't fully gray yet. That's pretty fucking weird.
It's super fucking weird. I even think about it.
Yeah, kind of like floored me right now. Because my dad looks more like he's like Vince McMahon, like older state Vince McMahon and Joe Girardi, like combined together.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. There was like something about your dad that reminded me of Dick Miller, and then like they're very similar in like the way their faces. But I was like, in my head, I was like, I bet Joe's dad's dad looks more like Dick Miller, and I don't know why I felt that way. But like, I was like, this is a thought that I had this morning as I was watching this.
No, that's pretty spot on. I'll send you a picture. That's good. I love Dick Miller in this movie, by the way, because he's clearly playing the mayor from Jaws, but he's somehow even more diabolical.
Dude, turned up to 11. He's like, it just because he's like, he's literally like, if they die, they die. Whereas the Jaws mayor is kind of like, that won't happen to us. Don't worry. Dick Miller's more like, fuck it.
He is. And, like, even at the end when the piranhas are eating, he doesn't, like, let up until they're finally like, hey, idiot. The piranhas are eating our guests, like, as we speak right now. And that's, like, the only time it, like, registers with him.
It only registers once the news cameras show up and he's like, get the fuck out of my face. Oh, boy. But let's...
Yeah. I mean, again, it's very much Jaws worship. Like, he's making a Jaws movie with piranhas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good. You know, I like it.
Why not capitalize? You're not like totally stealing the idea. I mean, you're not actually. I mean, I actually really like, I'm not a Jaws fan. Let's just throw that out there. So again, I'll take piranhas over Jaws.
I mean, that's okay.
Hey,
fine. I'm not gonna get into that. Paul's fucking punching walls right now.
Paul's gonna beat the shit out of me tomorrow at his wedding.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him right before he renews his vows, so he gets him so flustered.
Which, by the way, happy marriage day again, Paul.
Yes.
We're going to his wedding tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Richard Dreyfuss just looks like a fucking idiot in Jaws, so. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss looks like an idiot always.
I can't disagree there. So is he be like, hey, you disrespected Mr. Holland? Mr. Holland's opus fucking sucked. Why do people like that?
Remember how big of a deal that was?
Huge. It did huge.
I'm trying to find... Didn't Richard Dreyfuss get, like, busted for, like, doing some weird shit?
You thinking of Marv Albert?
No. Oh, here we go. Yeah. I'm thinking of that time Marv Albert was wearing like women's lingerie and biting people on a plane. How did that get swept under the rug? Can we talk about Marv Albert for a minute?
Wasn't he like trying to like sodomy law? Everything about him was insane. And he just retired like 2 weeks ago.
Dude, and was given like a hero's goodbye. Dude, did he bite him on an airplane? Like I thought it was on an airplane.
Don't remember.
He had a troubling past.
But it definitely was biting was involved. Which I don't know. I don't mean to laugh at it. I'm laughing at the absurdity of the fact that he was able to skate free and like have a prosperous career after that.
Yeah. Yes. It's wild. And like the biting is the worst of it. But like even at that point when it happened, him wearing lingerie like under his clothes or whatever the fuck the thing was, like back then that would have been like enough to get you kicked off TV.
Yeah.
If they found out you were doing that in the privacy of your home.
This is right here. After tests proved that the bite marks were his, he pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery charges, but the sodomy charges were dropped. Fuck Marv Albert.
What the fuck? So he actually... Oh my god, that's fucking nuts.
He was suspended... He was given a 12-month suspended sentence.
I think he took some time off of TV, but I don't know if it was a lot.
Yeah, it was like a 3-year hiatus.
Yeah, so Dreyfuss, he was accused of some sexual inappropriateness, but I don't think it never went to the courts, so I don't know if it's that. I thought it was more scandalous. Well, it's not. Hey, remember What About Bob?
I do.
It's a great movie. All right, we got to talk about Piranha, though. Fun fact, I'm trying to fill up time because I'm really worried this movie is not going to last long enough. Hey, so we are introduced to a young couple. They're breaking into I don't even know, like the woods. It's like a fenced off area of woods, but it's not really the woods because there's a fucking like concrete fucking what what do you call that? Like an embankment, like a sewer, basically, right? Like they have in California. Like runoffs? Is that what it's called? A runoff? I think it's called a runoff.
Sounds right.
Sure, let's go for it. This takes place in Texas, by the way.
You know what? I actually was wondering that. I didn't pick up where it took place.
Yeah, this takes place in Tejas. They find some water, which at first I was like, that's weird. But then you look around and it's like clearly like a facility. Like there's fences and like fences in the water. And like this is clearly something you don't want to jump into.
The worst place to go skinny dipping.
Yeah, dude. And even the woman is like, hey, that might be sewage. And she's right. It looks like a fucking sewage facility. Like it looks just like a fucking like a water treatment plant. Dude,
can I just interrupt for a second? And that's so funny that you brought up the sewage part because I hope you remember this. Quite often I've been thinking about that guy who put out a Craigslist ad who just asks for him to pay people to let him sit in their septic tank for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the picture is just him with goggles on sitting in a septic tank.
Yo, dude, that shit is fucking disgusting. That can't be real, right?
It's so absurd that I feel like it might be. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't possibly exist.
I mean, regardless, that picture is something. You know? I mean, dude, if 2 Girls, 1 Cup exists, like, why is that out of the realm?
Right. Well, I mean, whether or not that particular ad is real, I'm sure there would be somebody that's into that.
And also, let's also talk about something we talked about recently, which was there was somebody in recent memory that was like stealing little kid piss from like a school.
You're arrested for it. No, it was from like a school or a store or something.
Yeah,
taking it out of the urinal.
Taking it out of
because he thought it gave him healing power.
Dude, he like cut the pipe from the backside and it was just going into a bucket that he would then drink.
Fucking it should have been sentenced to death.
Also, Joe had a coworker that believed that to be true. No names. No names.
Yeah, well, when the article came out, me and Paul were working together. We were like, this guy is a fucking sick fucking. The guy's like, I don't know, man. Like, it might have healing powers. What? The fuck are you saying?
like he wasn't. He wasn't into the way he procured it, but he was like, "Hey, listen, I'm not here to judge the drinking of the piss, just the way it was obtained." So anyway, so you know that shit could happen, you know. So they go skinny dipping in this fucking facility, and the water honestly looks like shit water, but it's not. It's fucking piranha water, and. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is we see the piranha eye open, which 90% sure it's a live baby eye that they just like fucking shot underwater. It does not look like a piranha eye whatsoever. And the boy David, he gets bit, he goes down, and the girl Barbara, we see her trying to escape and her bloody hand come up, but no luck. R.I.P. to them. And again, like the gore is kind of weird. Like it's satisfying enough because the water is so red, it's nuts. But like no real like close-ups. No, you don't see the piranhas eating them. You just kind of see them go down.
Right.
Which is cool. We then meet Maggie McCowan, who is played by Heather Menzies from she was in Sound of Music.
Yes,
she was one of the kids from Sound of Music. She's fucking great in this movie, man. I thought she was super cute and like a super likable character that like actually she got a little more annoying towards the end, but I did really like the character. I thought she was like super funny.
No, I liked her a lot. Yeah.
She was great. Definitely like a different, like not a tropey character. You know what I mean? She wasn't like the heroine. She wasn't the damsel in distress. She was just like Maggie, who just like fucking plans a prison escape in the middle of the movie, and it's fucking incredible.
Dude, that prison escape is something else.
Dude, it doesn't even blink an eye when she does it. Like, fucking commits fucking felony after felony. And it's like, what are you looking at, idiot? And the person she's talking to most of the time is this guy, Paul Grogan, who,
Yes.
boy, this guy's a fucking piece of work. I couldn't stand this fucking guy. He pissed me off. And it also pissed me off because he's like, dude, this whole opening scene is him being like, I'm a drunk and I love being a drunk. And then later when everyone's like, Paul, you're fucking drunk again. He's like, how could you say that?
That's literally what he says in the opening scenes.
Yes. Dude, some guy comes and pays his rent in like 6 bottles of alcohol. And Paul's like, oh, good, I'm almost out. He brings him 6 bottles of different alcohol. He just fucking loves drinking it. But Paul Grogan also cooks fish with the scales on it.
Dude.
And like, no, I know you can do that in certain fish, but he's like cooking like river fish and he's like frying it with the fucking scales on it.
No, I had the same thought. I don't profess to be an expert on fishing or cooking fish, and in fact, I don't think I've ever done that. But what he was doing did not look normal, and I don't think anybody on the set had any experience with that either.
It was honestly appalling. I was honestly like a little bit nauseous watching him cook the fucking scales on it. Like, fucking insane. And he's the first one. Maggie is sent from, where is Maggie even from? Is she a fish no, she's not a fish expert. Well, actually, what the fuck is Maggie? That's actually a fucking incredible question.
She is the fuck is her job name? Something with Skip in the title.
Skip Tracer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. So she's just like, oh wow, what an interesting dude. The 70s were so fucking weird. Like they had shit like this.
It was the fact that term even exists. I've never heard anybody use it before, except for this movie. But isn't she just looking for missing people? Yeah,
they look for missing people. Usually it's like, I guess it could be for anything. Wow, this is so wild. I feel like no one uses this term anymore.
No, definitely don't.
Wow, that's fucking interesting.
Why wouldn't you just be called an investigator?
I don't know. The same reason this guy fried a fish with his fucking scales on. That's interesting. A skip tracer. So she's out to find these 2 missing kids who the parents think they kind of just like skip town, right?
Yes.
So of course the first person she talks to is Paul Grogan because they knew they were in the area. And that seems legitimate, but Paul Grogan's like, what are you fucking asking me this for? He hates her instantly. But to be fair, he also has a right to hate her because she literally just walks into his house. She does not, there's no knocking scene. She walks in and he's like, who are you? And then immediately is after he's like, I didn't do it. She's like, well, you're going to drive me up to that facility. And he's like, what? And then does. So that's cool. They break into this abandoned army facility up the road, which is where Paul was like, maybe they went up there. They think it's abandoned, but they discover that somebody is living there. I don't remember even the guy's name. Dr. Robert Hoke.
Wow. Did you write that down?
I'm on that Wikipedia.
Okay, I was going to say, if you pulled that out, holy shit.
No, because honestly, they call him like Dr. Hoke the whole time, and then randomly that other woman shows up who's like Robert, and Maggie's like, did you know him? And she's like, I did more than know. I did more than know him. This movie is so funny. I fucking love it. they break into the abandoned facility. They find this doctor who seems like a mad scientist because they go to drain the pond. So they see the pond and they're like, this is fucking weird. And then they find the kid's shit there. So they're like, obviously, let's drain that. And then fucking Dr. Rob pops out and is like, "Rah!" and like, tries to kill them instead of just being like, please don't do that. That's like super dangerous. Like, don't do that. Like, fucking turn it off. Instead,
or just making your presence known like a normal human being. Like if somebody was in a spot that they weren't supposed to be, all you literally have to do is supposed to be, hey, what are you doing here? And that would stop them, you know?
Imagine if you broke into like a top secret military base and their procedure was to just hide. not fucking kill you or escort you out or like stop you as soon as you enter the door. They're just like, do whatever you can to do to hide and let them do whatever the fuck they want. So he tries to attack them, which doesn't end well, and they drain the whole fucking pond. And when they do, they go into the pool and they see like a dead dog skeleton, and the scientist, fucking Dr. Rob, steals their Jeep. And you think that's a game changer, but then he immediately crashes it. Like possibly the most dangerous stunt I've ever seen, because that's a man in that fucking car. We watch his fucking Jeep roll 4 times just from like hitting like a pine tree.
It's 70s stunts, man.
We're nuts.
Something else.
They really were, dude, because they just like, and like think about the qualifications of I mean, even still the qualifications of stuntmen aren't much, but like back then it was like literally just whoever felt like doing it. You know what I mean? Like, do you know somebody that is willing to like flip a car 4 times? And you definitely did.
Dude, do you remember in Silent Night, Deadly Night 2? This is probably like my favorite stunt I've ever witnessed, because after the garbage day scene, Ricky is just shooting at fucking cars, and for some reason they decide to make a car go over a ramp and blow up. But right before it goes over a ramp, the stunt guy who's playing Ricky is standing right there, and that tire is like inches away from that guy's face. Dude, imagine risking your life for that.
I do remember that.
There's no way they calculated like,
no.
Okay, you need to stand here, and this is weird. Like they're just probably like, yeah, you'll probably be all right. And they're probably playing it back, being like, holy fuck, thank God. Thank God that didn't hit him.
Remember in like the 70s and 80s when they would do those like 2-wheel driving stunts? Like
on 2 tires?
Yeah, the car driving on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Dude, like that's not like a planned thing. Like they just whip the wheel back and forth. And like those guys were just like taught themselves how to whip a wheel back and forth to get on 2 fucking wheels and drive it. Like there was no science, there was no wires. Like it was not. It was insane. Like they were disposable in it. And that's this Jeep stunt is very similar. It looks nuts. Like that guy could not have felt good. Also, did you notice like Paul Grogan like just constantly groaning and growling up to this point? Just fucking constantly like, whoa.
Dude, 'cause I think he's playing up on the being drunk thing. Which is so funny because he's in the prison cell, he's like a different person. Did you pick up on that too?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's so much more articulate.
Yeah, that's when he like sobers up. But up until then, he's just constantly like, like what? The fuck? Like the Maggie would tell him something and be like, and you're like, all right, cool. They apprehend the scientist though, and without directly telling us, like I had mentioned before, they let he basically. By the way, he does not say this in any way. He's just like, you really did it this time. You let him out, and like. We know what movie we're at, buddy. Like, just fucking tell us. Oh, God, they breed like flies. Oh, God. And he also, in the words of your dad, was like, we're all fucked. They're like, what is this guy talking about? The first victim after their release is a guy who's another local drunk who's actually a local drunk from the first scene with Fucking Paul. Paul's drinking buddy.
Paul, yeah.
Whose feet are in the lake. He gets fucking got by the piranha. And while they're going down, like the crew, I guess, has decided to go down the river in a makeshift fucking raft.
A raft.
Like Robinson Crusoe, like a fucking like logs tied together raft. Fucking what? What is that? Anyway, also I didn't realize that until just now because I remember a later scene where the fucking fish start eating the boat and it's all
logs. Yeah.
Fucking eating logs. So they're going down, and then we get the next scientist reveal, which is, you know, they flushed the piranhas. And it's a lot of the blame game in this. They're like, hey man, you shouldn't have bred piranhas to do that. And he's like, you're blaming me? You fucking let them loose. That happens in about every scene that they're in together.
Which, like, let's pick a side here. Who's at fault? The fucking two bumbling idiots that flushed it, or the guy who's sleeping, and for some reason the sole protector of military grade piranhas?
Well, you know, they shouldn't have been up there anyway, snooping around. I side with the scientist.
Okay. Sure, the immediate problem is those two, Paul and the other one's fault, right?
Right.
But there wouldn't be an immediate problem if there wasn't military grade piranhas stored in a fucking abandoned facility in bumfuck Texas. No, I don't blame those two.
Which I love because he actually, like, they try to explain why the military's breeding destructive fish. And he's like, well, you know, there's germ warfare and nuclear warfare. He somehow lists like 4 different types of warfare, even though there's like 2. And he's like, you know, why not fish warfare? It's like, well, because they just wouldn't go in the fucking water. Like, what are you going to do to Russia? Like, fucking idiot. But anyway, yeah, no, I guess that's true. The military probably should not be.
Do you remember your parents talking about Piranha?
Yo, so here's a few things.
Sorry to interrupt your immediate response to my question. I'm the worst, but
no, I'm just.
I'm just thinking of like my parents, who don't even watch movies, like warning me of piranhas as a kid. There's no way they read a book on fucking piranhas. Like, this movie must have directly impacted them.
Maybe it was this movie, dude.
Or at least people that they knew that saw this movie,
right.
Like warned
it's like
dangers of piranhas.
Dude, they made $16 million. A fucking bunch. Like, movie tickets were like $1 back then. Like,
yeah, a lot of people
like,
saw this.
I feel like a lot of people saw it, and like, I don't know, but I am with you on that. I feel like as a child, my 3 immediate fears, based on shit adults told me, were piranha, quicksand.
Yep.
I had a third one, but I'm a little bit too drunk to remember what it was.
I think quicksand had to do with cartoons, but like quicksand seemed like a legitimate crisis.
I think at that point, quicksand was like really like there was a bunch of like live action movies where I was like, but no, I remember my dad explaining to me what quicksand was and why it was like a threat. Oh, lava was the third immediate. Okay. The third immediate threat to me. And also throw in there bees, like killer bees.
My dad's always been like this. Now that I think about it, like I've talked many times how like COVID's like crippled him in fear. But like now that you said killer bees, like it seemed like every single year as a kid, there would be like killer bees spotted in Texas.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
like one migrated up from like Argentina and they found it in one state by the border.
Okay.
And my dad would be like, "We're fucking fucked. Like we're screwed. It's the end of times." It would be like this every summer.
So, dude, that's so fucking funny. So, okay, I spent every summer of my childhood for 3 months basically in Texas. As soon as I got off the bus at the end of the school year, I was sent down to Texas to spend the summer with my grandparents down in Dallas. So it's so interesting that you're up here and your dad's like, we're fucked. And down there, like the news, like you said, it was always like killer bee found in Texas, like found in El Paso. And like, I'm in Dallas, like nowhere near it. But as a kid, I'm like, I'm in Texas. And never once did an adult be like, yeah, don't fucking worry about it. They were like, you better watch out for them. And I was like, what the fuck? And like the bugs down there are insane. Like they're everywhere. Like, and they're fucking enormous. So like, there were like all sorts of things with fucking stingers, fucking dirt daubers, like all types of fucking wasps that are not around up here, or not nearly as many of them up here. And so like the killer bee thing to me was like fucking legit. Like I was like, we're fucked. We're all dead. The killer bees are here. They're gonna kill us all.
Yeah, for sure.
And then do you remember that movie about the fire ants, the killer ants? What the fuck was that called?
Dude. Fuck. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's not, is it, fuck. What is it, dude? It's an old one, right?
It's fucking driving me crazy. Watch it be like.
I'm going to say a movie name. And I don't think it's at all related to ants. It's not Bridge of the River Kwai, is it?
No. I mean, it's not that honestly. I'm so flabbergasted. That sounds so stupid that now I'm honestly second guessing myself. Like, why would there be fucking fire ants at the Bridge of the River Kwai? But
no, it's not. I
don't fucking know.
It's not. It's not. It's not. I just looked it up. Dude, there's like a movie about like killer ant movie, right? Like fucking, and I can't fucking find it. Is it it's not in Vitica, is it? No, it's like 1977. No. I think this is it. Oh, dude, is it actually called Ants? It can't be called Ants, is it? No, this is not it. Dude, it was like, I feel like it was like an Oscar, like it seemed so Empire of the Ants. No, maybe that's not it.
Ants?
I don't know. No, I don't think that's it. Dude, it's like, I remember it takes place in like the desert, right? I think it's Legion. I think it's Legion of Fire. No, it's not that. It's not them. Another great ant movie.
I just Googled it, and somebody on Reddit posted on tip of my tongue a movie about killer fire ants that would eat humans to their bones, and it's not Legion of Fire killer ants, and nobody's gotten the answer right. So, little Mandela effect here. From
Yo, if this
movie that exists, dude, nobody knows.
Joe, if this is a Mandela effect, I'll lose my fucking mind because like. I remember this movie. I remember this movie so fucking vividly. If anyone out there knows about it, dude, I feel like it's like a fucking famous movie. I remember like, you know, like when you watch an old movie and it was old and shitty, but you were like, oh, I can tell this was like a famous old movie.
Yeah.
Because it had like a little bit higher quality. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying is like triggering something inside me. I can't think of it though.
That's fucking nuts, man. I should ask my fucking dad. Is it The Naked Jungle? It might be The Naked Jungle. I think it's The Naked Jungle. There's I'm looking at a picture of a man shooting a gun at a bunch of ants. And Charlton Heston is in it. Dude, I think that I'm like 90%.
Maybe that's it.
Naked Jungle. I should probably get to that Reddit guy. Wait, I think somebody photoshopped. Dude, is this fucking. Dude, the internet's the best. Somebody photoshopped a picture of Charlton Heston UFC fighting ants in the Naked Jungle. Yeah, this is definitely it. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's definitely The Naked Jungle for sure. For sure. 100%. Glad we did that live on the show. I'm drunk. I'm going to have. I need to look at that. Review. Although everyone tells us that they love this shit. Like,
I know.
Well, we listed movies last time, and people were like, "That was the best." I
got multiple messages. That was like, I would listen to you do that for like 2 hours.
Halfway through, I was like, "This is fucking idiotic. Why did I do this?" Anyway, so we're enough with the ants. Naked Jungle. I'm gonna have to take a peek at that. Man.
I think this all started because I was saying. Fuck, I can't talk either. I thought piranhas would be a bigger problem in my life.
Yeah, you expected them to be like a problem in your life at some point. And guess what? They're not. Well,
also, I was reading about piranhas recently.
Okay.
They're not even that dangerous.
No. They're like there has to be like blood in the water. I feel like they even go after like more of decomposed meat, like dead things.
Yeah. I feel like that's true.
Like they're not very, I mean, they really don't do shit. Dude, I started watching that River Monsters show. Have you ever seen that?
I have. On what was it, History Channel?
Yeah. It's usually always the same fucking fishes. He's always like, look at this. It's the same fucking fish we see in every fucking episode. But anyway, there are these like fucking worm things though that are like in Brazil that like will like they like you put like meat in there and they just fucking come to it and they like chew a hole through you. Fucking terrifying.
What about that?
Where's that movie? Eli Roth's gonna make it for Shark Week next year. All right, so we're going down this river on a fucking canoe, not even a canoe, a fucking raft that they made. And then they do find the local and who only has skeleton feet, which is fucking phenomenal. It's fucking great. Then we see a father who's fishing with his son in a canoe and he gets murdered in front of his kid.
In front of his kid, yeah.
Who is then like, they capsize the canoe, but he's like just hanging out on top of the floating canoe, what's left of it. There's also like this side story of a camp, which I honestly had no idea whether this was going to come into play or not. And like, honestly, up until the end, I was like, I guess this, I don't know. I guess this isn't a thing. And then it picked up at the end and I was like, all right, sure. So just know that there's a camp full of children. More on that later. But at the river, the scientist, they find the boy and the scientist sacrifices himself to save the boy.
Wait, sorry. Real quick, back to the camp. Grogan has a daughter who goes to that camp.
But we don't know that until the end, right? Or am I just an idiot?
No, we know that.
Oh, okay.
Because it keeps showing her because she doesn't like swimming.
Yeah,
and that's like the big reveal.
Honestly, I thought she was just some idiot kid that didn't like swimming. and then at the end, he's like, "Honey," and I was like, "Oh, that's the daughter." I didn't realize it before that.
I'm pretty sure they mentioned it before.
She doesn't like drinking because her daddy likes the drink. Wait, no, I'm drunk. I'm so sorry. She doesn't like swimming because her daddy likes the drink. This doesn't make sense. It's a bad joke.
Doesn't make any sense.
It's Saturday night, and I'm on vacation. That's the. Don't worry about it. Everyone just relax. Listen. The scientist jumps in to save this kid, right?
Yes.
Which is insane because the raft ends up getting there at the same time.
The exact same time. And literally both, even the fucking drunk moron is like, hey, maybe you should just wait a second. Since you're the guy who knows what these piranhas are capable of, and you just warned us about them. And also the kid's fine. He's on top of the fucking raft. Like, maybe if the kid was, like, flailing in the water.
Right.
That would make more sense. But the kid's...
Kid's totally fine. He's going to last 10 more seconds till we get over there. And also, we kind of need your information since you've been breeding these stupid fucking things. And instead, he jumps in. And also, like, forget all of that. On top of it, now this kid is traumatized twice because the scientist jumps in and is immediately torn to shreds. This kid has watched 2 adult men be murdered in front of his eyes.
Great point.
Fucking poor kid. It was like, "Wah!" And then the drunk proceeds to make it worse because the fucking the piranhas start chewing at the raft and tearing it apart because it's logs and rope, because they're they're like Huckleberry Finn, I guess. And so the guy's like just dump the scientist, because they retrieved the scientist's body, who just has like some holes in it, which, by the way, great gore there. I loved it. He's just got like holes torn apart. But they do like get his body back, and he's on the raft for like a couple minutes, and then fucking Grogan's like, toss the body in. And the kid's like, that's what they're gonna eat him like my daddy. And Grogan's like, shut the fuck up, and just pushes the body in, and the fucking fish just destroy him in front of the
Destroy
kid.
it.
Kid's crying, the kid's sobbing. Well, this kid now has watched, speaking of kids, there we go, there's a segue. This kid watched two men be torn to shreds by piranha. Something he was probably screamed at as a kid to not be afraid of. I imagine. And then I don't even know how they make it to safety, because like the fucking piranha just destroy that raft. They absolutely rip it to shreds. But they do make it to safety, and then the military shows up, and they're ready to poison all the piranha in the river by like just pouring fucking poison in the river. Which, I mean, sounds pretty good. Like, it's not it's not ideal, but these are also military grade piranha, right?
Well, also they're military grade piranha, but also we find out that they've already tried this once. The piranha survived.
Also, they offer Grogan and what's her fucking name? Maggie a job. And they both turning down a fucking fat pension. Are you kidding me? Dumb shit. Dude, hey, Paul Grogan, you're not going to have a job after this. Because I don't think you have a job as it stands. Take that military money, boy. But yeah, so they turn it down, and the military kind of like puts them under arrest, which they go rogue because they believe that the piranha have a secret way into the lake.
Through what do you fucking call it? Tributary.
Side lake. They also immediately get arrested trying to do this. Like 5 minutes into their ride, they get arrested on their way to the kids' camp because they want to warn the kids because his daughter's there, right?
Yes.
And now we're more than halfway through the movie when we're finally introduced to Dick Miller, the fucking mayor of the town, who's also taken money from the military, from a guy in the military, to open up the Aquarina, a new resort on the lake.
Yes.
It's always nice to see a familiar face like Dick Miller. It just makes you,
for sure.
It makes you feel good, man.
Joe Dante loved Dick Miller.
Oh, that's fucking true. That's actually really true. I never thought about that. God, who doesn't love Dick Miller, man?
Agreed.
He's just fucking great. He's fucking great. I remember we were doing that bit with Devin in the fucking Discord at one point. I forget what was it, or was it Discord, or was it one of the movies we did? No, we haven't done a movie. It wasn't the watch along, but we made the joke that Dick Miller looked the same at 50 as he did when he was like 20. We just kept repeating it.
Oh yeah, that was during the Joe Bob thing.
Oh yeah, Joe Bob. Yeah. Oh yeah, right, yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I'm sorry. Oh, so Maggie and Paul get arrested at this point.
Yes.
They're stopped, they're arrested, they're put in jail. Maggie comes up with the most insane plot to escape the prison, and it works. This is all because I think she dated a plumber who tried to escape jail.
I believe that is what she says, yes.
She's like, I once dated this plumber, and he kept getting arrested and kept trying to escape prison. And Paul Grogan's even like, well, did he ever escape? And she's like, no, it always failed. And the plot is to like smash out the
kick the like drainage pipe,
the
under
drain,
the sink.
Yeah, on the sink, and then turn on the water so water spills everywhere. Then smash the lid of the toilet, which my guess is in prisons they don't just leave this shit lying around. But smash the lid of the toilet and then put it in a blanket and then use it as like a flapjack.
Yeah, a mad ball.
Yeah. And guess what? It works fucking perfectly. Fucking the prison guard comes in because he hears the noise and she fucking whacks him on the head. But she assures us he's not dead. He's just knocked out. So they get out.
Dude, imagine seeing a busted sink like that and getting close enough to the prisoner so that you can get bashed over the head.
Going into the fucking dude. And then they leave. They escape, and now they're speeding to save the camp. And we're basically watching intercuts.
Seems awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, him driving the police car and like.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. And so they're driving like 1,000,000 miles per hour. And it's intercutting with us basically seeing the piranhas approaching these children at the camp who are all tubing, right?
Yes.
It is I saw this like I must have seen this like 1,000,000 years ago because I had no recollection of this. And I was like, I don't think because I knew I knew about the attack at the Aqua Arena, right? I remember adults being attacked. I have no memory of fucking children being murdered. And so I was like, that's not going to happen. Like, they're going to get there, they'll save the kids, and then they go to Aqua Arena, right? They're late. They do not make it in time. And these children are fucking murdered.
like dozens of them, too.
So many of them. Pulled through their tubes by their assholes by piranhas. Fucking outrageous. I've never seen anything. It was nuts. They're biting these little kids.
It is nuts, yeah. Crazy.
Fucking
But Susie helps some kids escape because she's not going in the water because she's scared.
Dude, can you imagine that scene actually like bothered me a little bit because Susie Grogan's kid puts out an inflatable raft to like help kids. Dude, that would have been tipped over so fast. Every kid would have jumped on it and it would have been fucking over. They're all dead. Well, Grogan shows up. He's late though. So they actually don't do anything.
That's a great point.
It was a legitimate massacre of children, and then they just immediately go to the resort.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. They like show up and they're like, well, I mean, this is done, so we might as well go to the resort.
And his like reunion with his daughter, like, could you imagine getting to your kid's camp and just seeing a massacre and then like finding like I'd be done for the fucking day. I'm not doing anything.
I'm not going to the resort. They're fucked anyway.
Yeah.
And like I'm I'm alcoholic Paul Grogan, so like I'm not shit's not gonna nothing's gonna happen when I get there. But anyway, they leave. They go to save the resort. And there was a couple characters that cracked me up in this, which was the guy that looked like Franklin from a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, who they for some reason do a whole scene with, who like spills his beer all over himself. And the only reason he looks like Franklin, I mean his hair, but it's the way he pouts after the fucking beer spills on him. And he's like it looked just like Franklin in the fucking van where he's like, like fucking idiot asshole. And then my other favorite thing was the woman, the beautiful model on the beach who is reading Moby Dick. Driest piece of literature I've ever fucking seen. She fucking just hanging out on the beach reading Moby Dick. Fucking boring as hell. Well, the resort immediately becomes under attack. And guess what? Paul Grogan ain't saved shit. He hasn't even arrived yet.
Oh, I love it. Dude, the fucking shittiest heroes I think we've possibly ever seen.
Honestly, that's a great point too. They do nothing this whole movie. I mean, I guess the end they sort of do, but even that is very... Dude, the end takes place within like 4 or 5 minutes. It's wild.
A camp full of children have been massacred. this fucking resort has been massacred, and somehow Grogan and the girl are, I can't think of her name. Nancy,
Maggie.
is that her name?
Maggie.
It was somehow they're still on the case and still being like, after the resort is attacked, like, well, we better get on this speedboat. Like, why? Fucking give up.
Right.
Move away from water forever.
Right. And also
nothing.
The military at the beginning, the military was like, hey, listen, we're not letting our presence be known because only you two know about it. But now 2 giant facilities have been attacked. Like at this point, they'd just step in and be like, we got this. Don't worry.
Right. Shut down everything.
Yeah.
Keep everyone inside.
Yeah, but that does not happen. Not only does that not happen, but they get to the resort, and just like the last place they got to, they don't do anything at the resort. They immediately just hop on a boat and leave.
On a speedboat, yeah. And go to the next place.
They don't even look in the general direction of all the murdered human beings. And Grogan now, who, by the way, Grogan and Maggie were very upset about the military's idea of polluting the river. They were, or not polluting, but poisoning the river. But then fucking Maggie's like, what are we going to do? And he's like, I'm going to pollute them to death. Those are his exact words. He says, I'm going to pollute them to death. So,
because somehow drunk Grogan has put 2 and 2 together that they can survive in salt water, and they'll soon go to the ocean, take over the world.
Which there is 8 minutes left, and there's no resolution in sight. This is honestly like the tightest I've ever seen, I think, a movie of ours come to. Like, wait, how are you going to resolve this in 8 fucking minutes? There's millions of piranha on the loose, and they just fuck you up as soon as you touch the water. So they drive to this, I don't even know what it is, honestly, like a cannery maybe. I don't know what it is, but they
it's some kind of plant. Yeah,
it's filled with pollution. But they get to it and it looks fine, and Grogan's like, Jesus fucking Christ. And they're like, she's like, wait, what? And he's like, don't you see the fucking control room's flooded? It looks totally fucking fine, because obviously it is. But they then built a control room on the floor of the ocean, which you know it wasn't flooded because there's actually like fucking plants down there. There's like fucking water plants, like it's not like trees, you know what I mean? Like it's not flooded area. It's the fucking underwater. So his big plan is tie a rope to Grogan, let him swim, and unleash the pollution, and count to 100 or something like that.
100 before pulling out.
And then drive away. And so that's what happens. He spends like a year down there.
Dude, she did not count to 100 because he's down there forever. He's also so stupid and useless that he can't move the wheel. And he's getting bit, which, okay, I actually have a problem with the scene because even though the piranhas aren't on screen, like we know that they just rip through people immediately.
Yes.
And for some reason, Grogan is trying to spin a wheel and all the piranhas show up and they're just like taking their time, taking like one little nibble at him, like once every 2 seconds.
See, I'd argue that he had, like, the scientist, when they pulled him up, he had some wounds on him, like, which I'm fine with. Like, if you die from that, that's fine. But, like, Grogan was in there for, like a minute and had the same wounds. And then, but although, we don't know the end. We don't know what happened, which is another qualm of mine with this movie. So anyway, let's get to that. So he's down there getting nibbled by fish, like for like 60 fucking seconds, and swatting at them and trying to spin this valve to get it open and pollute them to death. But he does, and then finally Maggie gets to 100, and he's tied to the boat with a rope. So instead of just drowning, he'll be drowned and also dragged across a fucking lake. I don't know what the plan, because the big plan was, she was like 100, and then puts it into fucking drive and starts flying, ripping Paul Grogan's through a fucking window underwater.
He should have been missing limbs by the time he came up.
Oh my god! But and also a little nice little trope here is she drives away, puts it in park, pulls up the rope. No Paul. The rope's been chewed in half. We think Paul's dead, and then we see Paul's arm shoot up from the fucking ground, like a fucking trope of a zombie movie or a slasher movie or something. But and then possibly one of the weirdest endings to a movie we've ever done. No closure whatsoever on any front. The news shows up at the resort, right?
Yep.
And Dick Miller's flipping out. People are dead. People are mangled. They're interviewing this female scientist that we had seen earlier, who's we're realizing she's not changing her course really. And then Grogan's there for some reason in a gurney and looking like he's about to die, right? He's on death's door.
Yes.
He can't speak, and Maggie's like, drink some water. Rubbing water on his fucking lips. Bro, he's fucking drowned. Don't give him any more water. He's just underwater for 6.5 hours. Fucking take it easy. But that's it. That's it. And then it ends on the weird military scientist woman who says, she's like, there's nothing left to fear. Cut to the ocean.
The piranhas are coming.
The piranha noises. And then it just ends and it says piranha on the screen. So Grogan
this sets it up for a sequel,
which they didn't get.
Yes, no, it has a part 2.
Wait, this one does?
Hell yeah, it does.
Wait a minute.
Directed by James Cameron.
No. That dude loves water, huh?
Dude, I'm pretty sure they have lasers in that movie. I'm serious.
Why are we not doing that? Yeah, Piranha 2, The Spawning.
Yeah. Let's do it next week.
Yeah, because I had talked about this in the Instagram Live. We do have to bounce this back a week because we do want Paul on for Aquanoids.
Yeah, we can't do Aquanoids without Paul.
It's impossible, right?
Right.
So next week we're gonna do a little bit of an audible. Let's do Piranha 2, baby. 1982, directed by James Cameron. That is unbelievable. Oh, and Cameron was a special effects artist for Corman. Dude, Corman's a god, right?
He's one of the best.
Just pick these dudes up. Man. After the film's release, Cameron largely disowned the film for many years.
I mean, look what he would go on to make. Imagine, people finally discovering you because of Terminator and Aliens, and then also discovering Piranha 2.
Which they made. Oh, they probably didn't make money. Oh no, they made money. They made money. They made a shitload of money. Released on my birthday too.
There you go. We got to do it.
August 14th. Any Lance Henriksen's in it. Hello, old Leatherface, the OG Leatherface.
Wait. Oh. Not like Texas Chainsaw.
No.
Just because his face looks like a catcher's mitt.
Yeah. Just an actual face made of leather.
He looked good in Stone Cold.
Yeah, no, he did. That was probably the best he looked. But that's because he looked like a fucking biker.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. I'm excited. All right, let's do that, man. Let's do Piranha 2.
Done.
Done. Guys, thank you so much. Yeah, we did a full fucking episode here. Good job. Good job by you. So we'll do Piranha 2 next week, and then I think it's Aquanoids after that. Is that the case?
Yeah, then Ticks for the live show.
And then that takes us into the live show, which will be THX, baby. Let me just, oh yeah. So we'll do Piranha 2. Yep, that sounds good. Cool. And then we'll kick off like our summer camp after that, after THX. So
nice. I know what you did last summer, 1 and 2.
What's that?
I know what you did last summer.
Oh, I mean, that has to be one of them. That people were really excited after we announced it, which was weird because we announced.
I got multiple messages being like, "You guys have to fucking do it."
Yeah, which we announced it, and then immediately we're like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it anymore." And people were like, "Please." So we'll do it. Yeah, so that's it for this episode. Check us out on Patreon. Loving the new episodes we're doing. The last 2 episodes, maybe 3, have been just as long as these episodes. Like normally they were like 30 to 45 minutes, and now they're easily an hour each one.
Yeah.
So definitely check them out. I think they're a blast, man. I'm having so much fun doing them. And sure. if we cut it down to 1 movie for Patreon, 1 for the show, I'm fine with that. That Fast and the Furious though nearly killed me. Like this week, I was like, oh my God, 3 fucking movies in a week. So I'm excited for next week though.
Yeah, so absolutely.
All right. So check that out. Patreon.com/IHateHorror. There was something else. Oh, I wanted to mention about Patreon. If you don't put your address in Patreon, I can't send you stickers. And I used to email people and be like, hey, what's your address? I just don't have the time to do that anymore. So if you do want stickers and you've signed up for Patreon and you have not gotten them, please email me, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I will get you some stickers. Just send me your address. I'll send you some stickers for it. Because I know Patreon's kind of weird about how they ask you for the address, but we do need it in your account for it to send it. So send me your address, Sean@IHateHorror.com, and I'll get those over to you. And also, if you rate, review, and something, subscribe, smash that subscribe and like button. Send me an email, Sean@IHateHorror.com. I'll send you some stickers that way also. We are, what else do we have? Instagram.com/IHateHorror, Facebook.com/IHateHorror. I think that's it, right? That's normally all I plug. Oh, and IHateHorror.com for the website.
Yeah.
And then I'll get the THX tickets up very soon on the website. So you'll see that very soon if you want to buy tickets to the watch along for THX, which is super fun format.
Love it.
Love it so much. And Joe, where can they find you?
Instagram, Boognish1985.
All right, man. And do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I do not.
All right. We're trying to book some shows for the fall, so keep your eyes peeled for that on our Instagram. And that's all I've got. So thank you, Joe. And for Joe, this is Sean. Stay weird.
Thank you.
Adios.
I dissect. Movies all fucking day.
I wanna play. I'm gonna watch what I'm not supposed to watch. A fucking zombie getting sliced and diced. The monster.
Butcher.